Our next guest was a three-time Pro Bowler in the NFL, ended up also being a College Football Hall of Famer. He's also a member of the All-70s Decade Team for the NFL and All-80s Decade Team. He was one of the most exciting players of his era and one of the great special teams players of all time. Joining us this morning on the show is Billy White Shoes Johnson. Billy, good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing great, D.A. How about yourself?
I'm doing great as well.
well.
Everything is great, man. Everything is great. The holidays are here, which is always fun. End of the football season, that's always fun as well. And I think about you often because watching the celebrations in the NFL end zones, I think, man, you were one of the pioneers of this. What type of celebration would you have if you had all of this leniency that the NFL players have now?
I would probably do the same dance, wouldn't dance at all. What's that? You ain't breaking any rules, violating anybody, No, I'm joking. I wouldn't know. Like I said, I'd probably be consistent doing what I've done in the past.
It's pretty cool, man, because you broke into the league in 1974, and this was a time where it wasn't quite the AFL 60s pizzazz. It was an NFL that was still trying to find, I think, some of the personality, and you helped get it there. Did you feel like a pioneer in that way, adding personality and color to the NFL in the 70s?
Not really. I mean, I don't know about color either because there are several ahead of me. I'm just joking. But anyway, it was one of those things that you did the game, you had a lot of fun, and it's just what you did, and I was just fortunate to do something that nobody really frowned upon it. To the point that until later on, but it was just fun. I never thought of anything else other than being fun and exciting your hometown crowd.
Of course, the 70s is the era of the discos and discotheques. Did you ever work on any of your moves, like your knees, like your legs, like your hips, at a disco? Did you ever go, hey, I'm doing this tonight as, Sugar Hill Gang plays. Now I'm going to do it on the football field.
D.A., no, I never did it. In college, we would have fun doing it. And that's where it all started, in college. And just somehow I got happy, got fortunate to score one day, got overexcited and danced. So I would never do it and try and rehearse it in the NFL. But in college, we just have a lot of fun seeing what would be different.
Billy White Shoes Johnson is our guest here on the show. Obviously, you were a great kick returner, also a great wide receiver. And back then, there was a lot less rules to protect you guys at wide receiver. Safeties and cornerbacks could really rough up the wide receivers downfield. Now you can't do it anymore. When you think about that era and those rules, how much more difficult was it to get open and stay open than it is now?
Well, they've changed so much that playing in that era would be I wouldn't say a piece of cake, but it wouldn't be as challenging today as it was back then because guys could run with you down the field. If you're not involved in a play, you would be able to get it. So, in doing that, nobody would, no foul involved in the play.
Okay, it sounds like your granddaughter's upset about Mel Blount and Jack Tatum roughing you up down the field.
Yes. And I was just upset as she was.
No, but it was a different era, obviously. But, that had to have been part of the gamesmanship. I mean, how much of it when you were playing in that era was, okay, I know this guy's going to attack me like this, ride me downfield, et cetera. I've got to make sure I've got moves to counteract that.
Oh, all the times. I mean, you would study film, and you would always try and get the drop on somebody. But you would work on whatever is your strong suit, just not to get embarrassed or to get roughhoused out there because they played the game. I mean, like today, some of the hits on the quarterbacks, come on. In our era, that was all par for the course. When I come in the league, they could catch at the line of scrimmage. So
yeah.
And they finally, did away with that. So, no, you always kept your head up. You always tried to stay on the edge, cutting edge of working out things that could help you and I guess elevate you to another level or to just being a better ball player.
You played in many great games for the Houston Oilers, a lot of big games for the Atlanta Falcons as well. Was there a defensive back that you had a personal battle with or a personal war with for a number of seasons?
No, not really. I think it was in our conference. When you played against Cincinnati Bengals and Pittsburgh Steelers and Cleveland Browns, they all had good cornerbacks, Mel Blount, Lamar Parrish, and Clarence Scott. Those guys could play. I mean, they had to play because they left you out there naked all by themselves. And those guys always tried to get the upper hand. I mean, they were smart ball players. Not only that, but they were fundamentally sound.
Billy White Shoes Johnson is our guest this morning here on Sunday Morning Football. I think it's amazing to look at your bio and know that you made the NFL for that many years coming out of the 15th round. I mean, now there's only 7 rounds in the NFL. You came out of the 15th round. Do you just look at that and it's got to even be crazy for you to think about that, right?
Oh, it is. I was just blessed and being fortunate, the right place, the right time. Because the good thing about it that time, you didn't have to go anywhere to like a combine or anything like that, and they looked at you and they would have saw me, man, they would have probably said, hey, this kid, he's not even big enough to play high school ball. So
yeah,
that's a good thing about it. But, it's all relevant, I guess. Like I say, just getting an opportunity for me was more than enough at that time.
Is there a wide receiver or a kick returner that you really enjoy watching now?
Oh, there's a bunch. There's several guys that I like. I like seeing Andre Hopkins play and Antonio Brown, of course, Julio Jones and punt returners. Wow, there's a couple. Tyreek Hill. And I still like seeing, the running back for the Philadelphia Eagles. He does everything.
Darren Sproles.
No, I still love to see him play. Man, he's exciting, so quick. He just, like I say, guys like that, you can tell they enjoy the game. They play the game because it's fun with it, and they've got that burning desire to always try and be the best.
I really like that comparison to Tyreek Hill. There's a guy that does it all. He returns kicks. He's a game breaker in the open field, big-time wide receiver, but also small, short, but turns on the Jets. There's got to be a little bit of you that looks at Tyreek Hill and go, yeah, man, he reminds me of myself.
Well, it's just fun. To me, I mean, it's fun watching them because, they're not that much bigger than myself, and but yet they command respect. They command people having to pay attention to them on that field, and they have to diagram plays to try and stop a guy like a Sproles or Tyreek Hill. So yeah, I love it.
You are working alongside Southern Recipe and their amazing line of pork rinds. There's Pork Rind Appreciation Day coming up, which is awesome. But they also work alongside the Gridiron Greats and the Gridiron Greats Assistance Fund. So share a little bit more with our audience about that fund and how it helps out former players of the NFL.
Well, Southern Recipe will donate up to $15,000 to the fund, Gridiron Greats Fund. And that fund is a dire need fund for former NFL players. Like you said, we played back in the area where they were cavemen playing, and sometimes the benefits don't seemingly help to facilitate certain situations that these guys encounter. So basically, that donation that they make goes a long way in assisting the Gridiron Great Fund. And, you got a lot of players who take advantage of it. They, and it's great because you can almost yoke it up with pork rinds and pig skins and pork rinds. They go hand in hand, So for me, it was a given to be able to get involved with this program, especially when you're helping former players.
I think the best bet is just to hand your grandson some pork rinds right now.
Yeah.
I think that'll settle him down a little bit.
I'm going to have to.
Well, I'll tell you what, Billy, it is awesome to talk to you because as an undersized wide receiver myself growing up, it was always fun to practice my Billy White Shoes Johnson celebrations in the backyard. So it's awesome to finally catch up with you, man, and thanks so much for doing so.
Thank you. Thanks for getting the word out about Gridiron Greats and the Assistance Fund from the Southern Recipe people. They do a great job in helping to promote that.
Billy White Shoes Johnson joining us this morning here on Sunday Morning Football.